Hi, my name's Ali Conker. I work as a teacher on the Curriculum Outdoors Attainment Challenge or coach programme with the Learning Outdoors support team in East Ayrshire Council. So my role involves visiting schools across our authority and working with teachers to sort of build their capacity to take learning outdoors across the curriculum and across all levels, the curriculum from early, mainly through to second level. So working mostly primary schools at the minute. I have a background of working with learners who have additional support needs. So I've worked as a teacher with the National Autistic Society and in learning support bases in schools. And with Coach, I have been visiting additional support needs schools across our authority to support staff there to start taking their learning outdoors with learners who have a wide variety of needs. Including sort of learning disabilities and physical disabilities. So hopefully I can give you some advice, kind of start us for 10 on how you can get outdoors with your classes and then what you can actually do when you are outside. So could I have the next slide, please? Thank you. So first, it's important to start to think about how you can get outdoors and to consider any barriers that might come, that might be in your way. So I've put some of those down the side there, but you might have some of your own. I've also shared a poster from our team, which suggests some small steps that you could take to sort of get yourself started, to build your confidence and build your pupils' confidence and become more comfortable in going outside. And by taking these small steps, hopefully you can start to make outdoor learning a real integrated and normal part of your practice as opposed to an add-on or an extra. So thinking about transitions and can we pop back? Sorry. So thinking about your transitions and your management. Obviously transitions can be quite difficult for learners with additional support needs and could be a really big barrier to you getting outside. So if you look at the top right picture on this slide here, you'll see a strategy I've tried with a pupil in a local school. He was struggling to transition from the inside to the outside. So we brought parts of the inside, outside and used the tiles there. So they're just big carpet tiles for him to stand on. So we sort of jumped on them like stepping stones, and we used that as a wee bit of a scaffold. So he's now able to come outdoors without the carpet tiles most of the time and join in with his peers. So really for transitions and things, it's all about being creative. Use what already works for your transitions indoors. So use your pictures, use concrete objects, use symbols, or even come up with an object that signifies outdoor learning specifically to your class. So maybe like a puddle suit or a wellie or a puppet or something like that, that actually shows right now it is time for outdoor learning. In terms of managing your class outside, it's really, really important to sort of set and create boundaries with the pupils. So if you set your boundaries for going outside with your pupils, then it might make it more relevant and meaningful to them because they'll actually understand why these things are in place. And visual reminders of the boundaries outdoors can be helpful too. So don't go past this stick. So put a big stick in the ground and say, don't go past this, or don't go past this tree. Don't go past this wall here, that sort of thing. So keeping visual reminders of boundaries can help as well. In terms of your resources, it doesn't really need to be all singing and all dancing, especially not as you first start. Some things that I've found really useful are just things you can find outside anyway. So pine cones and stones and leaves and sticks and all those sorts of things, and start just by counting those or making shapes out of those or making letters out of those, just to start getting used to it and for them to get used to it as well. Another thing I found really useful is using stones that are washed, and you get them in garden centres and things, and you can write on them with a Sharpie. So you could write letters on it, you could write common words, you could write numbers, you could write operations on them, and they can be used to make words up or to make calculations up and things outside. And if you have pupils that you think might struggle with the sensory aspect of touching things outdoors, maybe start by bringing those things indoors so that they can start to explore them and become more comfortable using them, but in a familiar environment as well. Routine. So just, I would say, start to create a routine for going outside that is exactly, or it's not exactly the same every time, but is as similar as it can be every time. So be that where you keep your clothes, where you keep your resources for going outside, which door you go out, that sort of thing. Any steps that you think you could take to make this a sort of normal thing for you. So ensure that pupils know what they're doing when they go outside will help them to be more comfortable for it, and then that takes some of the worry away from you, for you as well. So you'll see that on the small steps poster there. We've put make outdoor lessons routine and expected. So try and make this a really integrated part of your practice. And even if you just go out for 5 or 10 minutes a day, then that could actually help you to just make it a more a more normal thing that happens, and then the challenge that comes with change and transitions and things like that could actually start to be minimised. And finally, assessment outdoors. I think it is best done formatively and on the go. So I always have a camera with me so that I can take photos of pupils engaging outdoors, and if I've set sort of learning intentions or success criteria, then I try make sure I can get photos as evidence of that, or videos. But also it's nice to be able to get photos of things that happen organically, particularly when you're working with children who have a wide range of difficulties. So is it someone who wouldn't normally, touch something of a certain texture, has went outside and they've touched the tree, or they've touched some muck, or they've touched some plants? Has someone found a worm and been really fascinated by it? So cameras and taking videos and photos, I think they just help you to get a really, really wide picture of everything that happens outside as well. And if you do all of this, hopefully your confidence for going outside will grow and it'll become a really, really natural part of your practice. Can I have the next slide, please? So what to do outdoors. On our website, I've put the link at the end of my slides. We have a whole host of lessons and ideas. We've got a specific page for lessons for learners with additional support needs, but we also have an extensive amount of lessons on our Learning at School page, which could be easily differentiated and adapted for your classes, just for the level of the learners in your classes. The key things, though, that I think really, really work outside are allowing time for exploration. So giving pupils the space and freedom to explore outside, particularly right now because they are so restricted inside their classrooms and with movement due to social distancing and things like that. Having that time outside to be a little freer helps physical well-being, it helps mental well-being, but it also just allows them to engage in the learning just in a more relaxed way. So things like scavenger hunts and colour hunts, shape hunts, letter hunts, etc. All of these things allow exploration of the space, but they can be focused on particular aspects of learning, and they can be extended. So you could even start to look at sequencing. So if you do a shape hunt and you find a square, a triangle and a circle outside, you could then ask pupils, what did you find first? Did you find the triangle first? Did you find the square first? Did you find the circle first? So all of these things can then be quite easily adapted. It's useful to make things multi-sensory outdoors. Being outdoors just makes learning feel different anyway, because you're not inside, you've got the wind in your face, you feel the heat, hopefully, or you feel the rain more commonly. So that all feels different straight away anyway. So it's a good opportunity to allow to create multi-sensory approaches. So making letters out of natural materials, like you'll see in the bottom right there, to make using different materials, using sticks, using mud, using their fingers, just things that are much easier and much freer to be able to do outdoors than indoors. Outdoors, you can still make make connections to your inside learning and meet your E's and O's. It doesn't need to be an add-on or an extra. It can absolutely be integral to your classroom practice. So take what you're teaching indoors in any subject and think, how would this look outside? How would this look in a real life context? Because if you are teaching it, then it's got to be important to their development and their ability to be able to function the outside world anyway. So think about how it might look. So it could be, again, looking for shapes. It could be making music with things that you find outside, going for a walk and making a map of your journey, or listing the places that you've been, taking photos and sequencing the photos, creating pictures outside using natural materials. Use the E's and O's and the benchmarks to help you, and just sort of go through them and think, how would this actually look outside? And the most important bit is playing and having fun. Being outdoors needs to be really, really good fun for you and for them, and allowing that time for free play and exploration. You'll start to see learning happening really, really naturally. And go with that, go with what the pupils are leading you towards. Can I have the last slide, please? So there's some links there for some further information. The first link is just a link to our general Learning Outdoors Support Team webpage, where we've got research and ideas, activities, all sorts of things on there. And then the second link there is to our additional support needs page, which has lessons specifically for learners with additional support needs that I've found to have worked quite well. But we also have some sort of pictorial guides up there as well, relating to COVID at the moment as well, about the phased approaches and self-isolation and things like that. Thank you very much.